We're at the Golden Nugget in downtown Las Vegas for the sports betting spotlight for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and hopefully this video is a lot better than the one we did a week ago. What a freaking disaster.
Hey, we look good.
0-4. She looked good. 0-4, 1-3, 0-4. Worst video we've ever done by far. Not even close.
Sorry.
Got to try to make up for it this week.
We're
How you
lucky
doing,
we got
Kelly?
invited back. I mean, that was a massacre. I was texting Matt on Sunday, and I was like, are we going to jump off the Golden Nugget today, or should we wait till
That was just
tomorrow?
terrible.
All right, what a fiasco. But this is a bounce back Friday, so let's get to it. Kelly Stewart and Tony Miller, Golden Nugget Sportsbook Director. Kelly, your first three plays, Georgia +3, Alabama -35, and Iowa State +16.5. You love those Cyclones. Tony, you've got Miami -7.5, Memphis +14.5, and Troy -14. And my first three will be Hawaii +3.5, Jets +2.5, and Ravens -3.5, and I'll have a college best bet. Kelly, Georgia +3. We saw the Bulldogs get dump trucked by Ole Miss, and Tennessee overcome a 21-0 deficit to beat Florida 38-28 last week. Why do you like the Bulldogs in this SEC rivalry game?
Well, one of these days I'm going to learn to stop betting against Tennessee every week, but this week's not that week. I think the Georgia Bulldogs team should be probably closer to Georgia -1 pick'em. I think there's a gross overreaction to how bad they got blown out at Ole Miss, and the second half game Tennessee played against Florida, and I'm just closing my eyes. Sometimes you just have to bet bad teams and just go with it, and that's what I'm doing here.
Georgia's not that bad. Just
They're
looked
not.
bad last week.
They looked bad last week. They got lucky against Missouri, which I was on Missouri, so I was happy. But, you know, hopefully we can get back that Georgia team that beat North Carolina week 1.
All right. I took Georgia +3.5 here. And
Tony only gave me the 3.
We use the Golden Nugget lines every week. All right, Alabama -35.
Huge blowout game here. You know, last week I know I agreed with you on Kent State. It was a pretty gross non-cover. This line is a little bit inflated, I understand, but Kentucky is that bad. 5-16-1 against the spread as of lately. Last time these two played, the line was 26. I get it. It's almost 10 points higher at this point in time. I don't care. Bama won 48-7 last time. I think similar result happens on Saturday.
Okay, Iowa State +16.5 against Baylor.
Growing up in the Big 12, the thing I hated most was going into Ames, Iowa. As a Kansas State fan, it was the worst thing you could ever do. I don't care if the Cyclones had not won a game that year. It was still one of those scary experiences where they always had a team on the ropes. This is not an Art Briles Baylor team. I don't care what anybody says. We saw them struggle against SMU. We saw them struggle against Rice. I think Matt Campbell's doing a really good job in Ames. I think Cyclones keep it closer than everybody thinks they do.
Yeah, I've been to Ames, Iowa, too, and I never want to go back. Tony, have you been there?
Never.
Never?
I'll try one day.
All right, Miami and Mark Richt, 7.5-point favorites over Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I like Miami and Florida. I think they got a great team. They've probably got one of the best defenses in the country. They are 3-0 against 3 small programs, though. They're going to get tested this week against Georgia Tech. But I do like Miami and Florida a lot. I think their defense is just outstanding. They're going to win the ACC Coastal. They're going to end up playing one of the big 3 from the other side. And Miami's good. Miami's real good.
All right, Memphis +14.5 against Ole Miss.
Yeah, 3-0 with 3 blowouts. Another team that's only given up 27 points in their first 3 games. Going against Chad Kelly and Ole Miss, though, they will be tested by his arm. But Memphis, they're a high-scoring team. They don't give up very many points. And catching 14.5 points here with that hook sounds too good to pass up.
All right, Troy goes up to Idaho. The Vandals came down and stunned UNLV last week. You and I were both on the Rebels like a couple of idiots, and we lose that one. Troy's got a good, I think, up-and-coming coach here. This is a team that's a little bit under the radar, but most sharp bettors know about them. You're going to lay 2 touchdowns.
Yes, I am. You know, this team's 3-1. Their only loss was a 6-point loss at Clemson, and they were in that game all the way. So now they're going to Idaho. I know Idaho came here last week, and let's call it an upset of UNLV. I'm not sold on Idaho. I still think they're a down-and-out program. I think Troy goes in there and takes them to the woodshed. I like Troy a lot.
Tony's so convincing in all of his plays, isn't he? Just
That's what I've been told.
yeah. Sound like all winners.
Gotta try, man. Gotta
Hawaii
try.
+3.5. Be my first one. A late night game on Saturday. This is a tough spot for the Wolfpack here. They've been to South Bend, West Lafayette. Now they got to fly out to Hawaii for this game against a Warriors team that really started to get things figured out offensively, I think, in the second half in the game at Arizona 2 weeks ago. I like this spot. Nick Rolovich, former Nevada assistant coach. I think this sets up well for Hawaii to get the potential upset. Jets +2.5. Jets got one of the best, strongest front sevens in the NFL. The Seahawks, one of the weakest offensive lines. You got a quarterback with a bad knee. Jets should win this game off an awful performance a week ago. I like the fact they played so poorly last week, be more motivated this week. And Ravens minus 3.5. This is a poor situation for the Raiders. On the road for the second week in a row, facing the number 2 defense in the NFL. And you've also got Justin Tucker on your side. That guy's amazing. Cannon leg kicker, 9 for 9 on field goals.
It's hard to bet against the Ravens right now.
He's automatic. The Ravens win close games. I hate to lay 3.5. I bet this at 3, but like you always say, Tony gave us a bad number.
It's always the other side.
Tony gave me the bad number.
Always the other side with a better number. Remember that.
Kelly, your best bet, K-State plus 3.5 in the hills of West Virginia.
I think everybody knew this one was coming. It's almost automatic you play Bill Snyder as a dog. Yes, it's kind of starting to flatten out in the recent years, but 20-11 against the spread as a dog. K-State has owned Daniel Holgerson and this Mountaineers team. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Give me the 3, give me the 3.5, give me the money line. I don't care. K-State wins that game.
All right, you got it. Tony Miller, your best bet. I like the other side of this one. A couple weeks ago, I was on Louisville. He was on Florida State. Now this week, I like Clemson. He likes. But now he's on the Louisville bandwagon.
It's okay because I'm on
now
Clemson with you.
All right, Louisville minus 2.
Hey, fool me once, not twice. You know, I'm a believer now. I so messed up with the Florida State game. I really thought Louisville was out of the league. They've made a believer out of me. Lamar Jackson is the Heisman winner this year. This team is good, and this is their playoff game, man. They can't lose this game. They have to win it. Clemson can still lose and make the Final Four. Louisville cannot. So if they get past this game, all they got left is Houston. They're in the Final Four.
All right, that's Tony Miller's best bet. Saturday night, my best bet will be Penn State minus 2.5. Not sure why this number is below 3. I know Penn State's off to a poor start. James Franklin's a terrible coach. He's not even close to being the worst coach in the Big Ten. That honor goes to either Darrell Hazel at Purdue or Tracy Claeys at Minnesota. Gophers are a really poorly coached team. Penn State's in a must-win spot at home. I think James Franklin actually gets a win he really has to have here this week, and he's got superior talent. All right, Tony Miller, Golden Nugget Sportsbook Director. Kelly Stewart, let's get some winners this week. Sports Betting Spotlight for the Las Vegas Review-Journal.